Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to another episode of Filter Therapy. I'm your hostess Susa, and I'm so grateful to have you here today. If this is your first time, then welcome. And if this is not your first time, then welcome. How have you been? How was your holidays? Happy New Year, everyone. I hope this year is filled with love, joy, peace, and abundance. I hope everything that you've set out for yourself this year comes to pass, comes to fruition in Jesus' name. Amen. So yeah, guys, how have you been? Have I been? I don't know. Just know, like, I've missed you. I feel like I always say that, but I have, honestly. It's been 6 months since my last episode, and as embarrassing as that is to say, it's true. And I know I owe you guys an apology. I'm very sorry. I have a lot of reasons why I haven't recorded an episode in so long, but I don't necessarily want to talk about that now because that's not the topic of today. And I don't want to take too much of your time. I want us to get into the episodes, into the topic, rather. I'd love to first get into the topic of today and not, waste a lot of time ranting like I usually do. Do I? You guys should tell me. You guys should let me know in the comment section. You guys should also let me know how your holidays were. I want to know so bad. I really want to know. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good one. I definitely did. It's kind of 50-50. It's always 50-50 with me. But yeah, okay. So, today's topic. Now, before I get into the topic of today, I'm just going to ask you guys a simple question. You know how I am. I love to ask you guys a question. I just love it. I feel like, yeah, that's my signature, how I start. Because, I want to pick your brains just a little. Right. So the question, I have my journal with me today because I want to, because like I said, this topic is, well, it's not personal to me. It's not really personal to me, but it's something that, it's something that I have always tried to analyze in my head. So it's always better to write things down. Pro tip for this new year, I would say, is to start journaling. It's good, it's helpful, helps you process your thoughts, and it helps you not always run to Twitter or social media to go and express yourself. Please, let's not do that moving forward. But yeah, before I start with the topic of today, like I said, I have a question for you guys. I'm just going to read it out. So yeah. The question I have for you is, are you ready? I don't think you are. But, and I'm not going to hold anybody's hand when I say this. I'm not going to hold anybody's hand for this one. But do you really want to log out of social media and disappear? Or you're just doing it because that's what everyone else did during their healing journey? I'll give you guys a few minutes to think about that. And I hope throughout the course of this episode, you start to realize that those might be two different things, like healing versus what you're doing. Yeah, they might be two different things. I know you guys have seen the title of today, and it is The Performative Act of Healing. Yeah, sorry to break it to you, but I think healing has been hijacked. Well, at least the concept of it, the concept that is being pushed out to all of us, every single one of us, as an individual, especially as an individual on social media. So yeah, somehow healing has stopped being personal and has started to become somewhat performative, right? I mean, it's all over social media. It's become something that you have to prove, something that you have to post, something that everyone in your circle, you see people saying, oh, please don't text me for the next 3 weeks. I'm going off social media to heal. Bro, first of all, what does social media have to do with your healing journey? I like to tell people, especially people that are trying to heal and move on, especially when it's a healing and moving on type of situation, right? if you know that you have an issue with a certain group of people on social media, you feel when you go on social media, you feel oppressed. When you um, see certain things on social media, they make you feel some type of way, and hence you think that's like, creating some sort of emotions within yourself that you don't necessarily like, and you like to heal properly from that. Sorry to break it to you, but in my own opinion, you don't necessarily have to leave social media. It's very easy, guys, sorry, but it's very easy to press the block button, the restrict button, unfollow. It's not that difficult. On ad, like I've spoken about this before, once before, with I think Faye, and we spoke about pressure in your early 20s. And yeah, like I said in that episode, I will say it again here. Social media is not supposed to bring you these kind of negative feelings that maybe some of you feel. If you don't like the kind of content that you're consuming from a particular creator, a particular friend, a particular person, you can always remove that person from your social media. You don't have to remove yourself from social media. It's different if you have another reason, but if it's because of this certain reason or this particular reason I'm speaking about, then feel comfortable, feel free to remove those people that make your social media space feel somewhat toxic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's not really what I want to dive in today. That just popped in my head based on the question, because I always see a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm gonna go social media, I'm gonna go heal properly, I'll be back in 2 months. First of all, no one ever guaranteed you that healing was going to take 2 months. But okay. So now, back to what I have written down. Healing now looks like being emotionally intelligent all the time. You always want to be the bigger person. You always want to protect your peace. You never crash out. You communicate, but you don't let people see you for who you are, And honestly, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh, like, yeah, I'm not saying, oh, be the small person and go and fight and all of that. No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But believing that that's how you're supposed to react, that's when it becomes the problem. It's one thing to actually get to a stage in your life where, you don't see the need to address certain issues. You don't see the need to crash out. But if you do see the need to do these things that I'm mentioning, then please feel free to do it. Like, let's talk about how these influencers or particularly the self-help or self-development girlies on TikTok or Instagram, who come and tell you like, you need to be the bigger person all the time, protect your peace and all of that. It becomes a problem when you're like suppressing your emotions, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like communicating and moving on. That's definitely like, it's perfect as the goal. Honestly, it's feminine. It's a feminine thing to do. But honestly, if you feel the need to crash out, rightfully so. Especially you understand the situation that you are currently going through, you understand what's happening. So yeah, if it's something that needs to be addressed, please address it. Like, don't suppress your emotions, because I know it might feel like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Sorry, but like, I get embarrassed very easily. So yes, I understand. Like, I know it might feel like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Like, I don't want to have to do this. I hate the fact that this person is getting to me. But being able to sit and be comfortable with these emotions, that's what shows you that you're truly healing, if you understand what I'm saying. Because healing has never been like a linear process. Like, healing has to do with your mental and emotional growth. Therefore, it's not going to be something that's going to happen in a day. It's not something that's going to happen in 2 months, especially if it's like past trauma that you're healing from, or something that has deeply affected you. Something of 6 months has deeply affected you. Sorry to break it to you, you're not going to heal from this thing in 1 month. You're not going to heal in 2 months. Healing is consistency. It's messy. It's human. It's human. Like I said, it has to do with your mental and emotional states. Therefore, it's not predictable. You cannot say that, oh, because this person got healed that way, then I will get healed that way as well. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, you don't just wake up and all of a sudden one day you feel healed. It's a process. It doesn't take a day. Actually, okay, for example, let's say you're trying to heal from a manipulator and you find yourself in a relationship with another manipulator. Now, the fact that you're in a relationship with that manipulator does not mean that you are the problem, but at least now you're able to recognize that this person is a manipulator. So then you walk away. That shows that you've healed. That does not mean that you haven't healed. You have healed, and that's why you're walking away. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't think it's right to blame yourself for situations that have little to nothing to do with you, especially mental and emotional issues. Some days you're self-aware and some days you're not, and that's really okay. Some days you're able to recognize patterns and some days you're not, and that's okay. Healing is a process. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to prove anything to anyone that you've healed by posting all sorts of on the internet. But yeah, you see, now I'm going to get into the problems or the issue that comes with the performative act of healing. When you're obsessed with being 100% all the time, when you're obsessed with wellness, when you're obsessed with, healing, when you're obsessed with healing, you start to believe or constantly tell yourself that there is currently something wrong with you, that there is currently an issue. And I don't think it's helpful or beneficial to your subconscious to feel that there is something wrong with you. Do you understand? In the constant pursuit of finding your best self, you can leave yourself believing that you are not enough. You can leave yourself, I'm going to quote what I said. Our relentless pursuit of being our best selves can easily turn into a fixation, a belief that we're never enough as we are. So yeah, that's when it becomes a problem. I know there's nothing wrong with healing, but if it is as performative as the internet has made it to be, if it is as constant, if you're always questioning your own actions, blaming your actions on past trauma, and then saying that, oh, I need to heal because of what this person A and B have said, influencer A and B have said, then you're always going to look down on your past actions. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but yeah, like I said, that is not healing. And I can just imagine how exhausting it is to have this belief that you are not good enough as you are. So yeah, and that's why I call it performative, honestly, because real healing is actually very simple. It's hard, but it's simple. True healing is about accepting yourself as you are, in all its messiness, all its imperfection, and humanity. Healing has nothing to do with, ghosting, social media, or I don't know. Well, it really depends because healing is different for everyone. So me, if I were to heal, I wouldn't go social media. I actually like social media. It's fun. It teaches me some things and it gets my mind off some things. So yeah, like I said, you don't owe the internet a healed version of yourself. You're allowed to be in the process of healing, right? Nobody's giving you a 2 month mark. No, especially this new year, everyone is trying to work on themselves. Everyone is trying to better themselves. It's okay to still be figuring things out. We're all human. It doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're human. You're normal. You're a normal person. Because somewhere along the line, healing has stopped being, about feeling better. It's starting to feel like, oh, you just want to look, because you want to look like a better person. That's why you're healing. No, your healing journey is not supposed to feel exhausting. It's not supposed to feel performative. It's not supposed to feel like you're being forced or convinced to do this. It's something that you are making a conscious decision to do because you want to improve yourself and your well-being. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you today. I don't have much to say, like I said. Just wanted to address the performative act of healing. But yeah, that is the end of today's episode. If you have any disagreements, let me know in the comments. This is an open discourse, so I'm also open to hearing your opinion on, this topic in particular. I would suggest going on Substack and reading a bunch of articles about healing and what it's supposed to look like and what it has been forced to look like. Well, not forced, but just maybe, I don't want to use the word forced, but it has been, sorry, not forced, but it has been deconstructed to look like. I saw an article on Substack, and the topic was basically healing is making us mean. Because of everyone is trying to protect their peace, they're kind of like pushing away community. Whereas community, that's why I started with the whole. So are you really leaving social media because you want to, or because you feel like you have to? Because when you're healing, you're supposed to find your community. Community is what brings us together as a people. But if you're choosing to isolate yourself, you always want to be the bigger person. You feel like you're better than everyone. You're always trying to protect your peace. You don't want to interact. You don't want to be put out of your comfort zone. Well, then you have to start to reevaluate your choices and what healing looks like to you. And maybe not call it healing. Yeah. Okay, so that will be all for today. I'll see you guys in my next episode. Let me know what you think. I feel like I would have a few disagreements, especially with this topic. So if you do have any disagreements, let me know. I'm open to discussion. I'm also open to explaining further my point of view and why I believe that healing has become performative. But yeah, guys, have a lovely week and God bless. Mwah.